Okay, hi. I decided to remake this tutorial because I had some incorrect info about movement on my other one, and I just wanted to fix it. And now I have a input display here. You can't really see it. These little Japanese letters that you're seeing right under the hearts and the arrows and stuff. That's like all the directionals. Down, right, up, yeah. Okay. So, I doubt that's gonna help anything, but it's just there. Shoutouts to Pinkus for making this ROM hack too. Um, the reason I made this tutorial originally was because a lot of players insisted on learning this trick right away. I don't recommend it still, but if you really want to learn it, I guess this is this is your tutorial here. I learned it in the beginning because I was persistent, but now as like a more experienced player, I wouldn't recommend it. But whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'm gonna go over movement first. That's the most important thing. When Link moves in this game, if you don't already know, moving right or up will always move you 2 pixels first, and then it'll start this pattern of moving 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 pixels. Okay, so anytime you like tap up, you're moving 2 pixels every time, and then when you're moving down and right, you're moving 1 pixel. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're trying to adjust yourself for this jump, because knowing that will just help you in the long run. So when you move diagonal, when you're tapping like diagonals like this, it's really hard to tell what I'm doing here, and it's really hard to do, especially on a Super Nintendo controller. You will always move 1 pixel in both directions, whichever diagonal you use. So, in other words, up and left will move you up and left 1 pixel every time. So that's a good technique if you're trying to move up 1 instead of up 2. If you're only trying to move up 1 pixel, you want to do a diagonal, so you'll move up 1 pixel instead. That's really hard to tell, but whatever, you get the idea. Another thing is sword buffering. That will ensure that you move the amount of pixels you're supposed to. So when you're moving up one, like when you press up and B on the same frame, you're going to move up 2 pixels every time. And same with down and B, you'll move down 1 pixel because of the way Link's movement pattern is in this game. So you need to also keep that in mind, that sword buffering is to help you move 1 pixel. You can also do it with diagonals, which honestly is probably better for moving 1 pixel no matter what. So kind of get used to using your diagonals for this trick. Alright, so I'm going to do the trick. Hopefully I don't fuck it up. And yeah, ignore that. So I'll make a save state here. This is how I normally do it. Just double check that. Okay. So that's basically what you want. That was one extra buffer, I think. That's not too bad. It's about 1 second time loss with that extra buffer. I see a lot of players, when they learn this trick, they try to do it without any buffers. You can do that if you want, but you better get used to moving Link really well, because there's almost no way to guarantee you're always going to get on the right pixel for this trick. I learned it that way too, and I understand that a lot of players learn it this way because of Crystal's Note Smash is kind of outdated. So it doesn't really have any updated info except for the sword cues that she uses. So pause buffering is probably what you're going to want to do. Another thing to remember is when you pause buffer here, you need to switch to bombs anyway, and then you need to switch to mirror, because you're going to be mirroring to the beginning of the dungeon after you get the key in the next room. So using 2 pause buffers here is free. You don't lose any time. So there's really no excuse to not use pause buffers here. of some sort. So, like I said, I would get used to trying to use pause buffers. It's really weird at first. I thought it was kind of weird, especially when you're new to speedrunning in general. It's just kind of I don't know. To me, it was really hard at first. So, just practice it. That's all I gotta say. You'll be thankful that you learned it. Okay, I actually have notes here this time to keep track. I'm gonna do the one bomb jump. Okay. It's alright, so I'm on the right pixel. I'm gonna go over the visual cues here in a second. So one bomb is really easy. Oh wait, you don't want to switch to mirror there. I don't do one bomb jump, but I probably shouldn't really be going over this. You can't switch items here. It's really easy to just press Y twice, to be honest. This is the easy way to do it. I do it this way. It's a little bit slower than the optimal method. To just press Y twice, because you can only drop 2 bombs. So, you know, as a safety, you can hit the Y button 3 times. You won't drop 3 bombs. You'll only drop 2. The game won't allow you to drop anymore. Adjust myself here. Alright. 2 bombs is what you're going to probably want to do. But, I mean, if you're comfortable with 1, then do 1, you know, to start yourself out. But 2 is the way to go. It's not much more difficult. The optimal way to do 2 bombs here would be... Okay, I'll try to do it. Sometimes this happens to any runner. No, I did it wrong. Try that again. You want to put that bomb, the second bomb, facing up because it's a little bit faster. This bomb will explode first, which is slightly faster, but I don't even do it. I'm more comfortable with dropping it in the same spot and losing a couple frames. So this way you just know both. If you can learn it by dropping the bomb up, it's better. Alright, so I'm going to go over the visual cues now. Okay, well I'll show you what the visual cue is first. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I don't think you can see my mouse cursor. Let me see if I can switch that real quick. So I can... no, it's not going to show it, of course. Oh wait, maybe it will. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. Alright, so right here, above Link's head, is the visual cue that I use. It's about 2 pixels till you see this T here on the tile. That's how I always know I'm in the right position. And this is what I use. You can also use Link's shadow down here in reference to the tiles you see. You could honestly use whatever the fuck you want. Just use whatever you want. You just need to know you're in the right position. So you can use anything. The thing with Link's hat is, you need to remember, is that sometimes his hat like flaps. So, oh whoops. Like right here. You kind of missed it actually, probably, but his hat was flapping. So right here, I already know. It looks like I'm too high right here, but see, when Link's animation settles, he's gonna drop 1 pixel. So I'm technically in the right position. That's why the shadow is a little bit more consistent, because the shadow is still the same visual cue. So that's why I turn to the right and just stop. See, now I'm on the right position because you can see the 2 pixels right there. Alright, so that's the first. This is where you want to drop the first bomb. So you drop a bomb, and now you want to move. You want to move to the second position here, and this is what I use as well. When I pause the game, you can see 3 rows of bomb shadow right here in reference to the inventory screen. This means you're in the right position to take the hit and clip through the rail. So, another thing you want to do is, oh, I moved out of position. See, there you go. You want to kind of be closer to the bomb. So if you're like standing on this side, you might not get the impact from the explosion. It might not be strong enough, and it might just knock you down here. So you kind of want to be close to it. Oh, hang on. Like right there. I usually use the sword as kind of a reference that it's covering the wick to know that I'm close enough. And then when it explodes, you need to hold up before you, like right when you take the hit, just hold up and to clip through the rail. Because if you're not holding up, you're not going to go through the rail. And you'll just fall. So, alright. So, there's some other visual cues you can use. See right here, I know I'm too low by 2 pixels just by what I saw before I paused the game. So I'm going to try an up B sword buffer to move up 2 pixels because I know I'm 2 pixels too low. So now I'm in position because I did the sword buffer. And then I'm going to turn right and drop both these bombs. Pick up this bomb and throw it because you got plenty of time. And then kind of just use a pause buffer to move into position. And this is where you're going to use diagonals or tap down or whatever you want to press to get yourself in position, which is what I was referencing earlier with movement. You want to use those techniques to get in position while you're pausing the game. So you're like basically tapping the direction that you want to move while you're pausing the game consistently to get into position. So this is the right position. And then you just hold up. It seems simple, but it takes practice. I guess that's really all you need to know, I think. I don't think I'm missing anything here. You just need to learn visual cues, that's all. I'm gonna go over the sword buffer technique. Like, these are advanced techniques. Like, it's optimal to grab both those bombs, but you have less time to time this. So now I know I'm too low. See, I'm tapping diagonal and I'm moving 1 pixel at a time. Now I'm in the right position. And then, see, I already know I'm too low here. I'm 1 too low. So I'm going to be tapping diagonals to get in position. And I hit up. See, if you see part of that bomb shadow right here, then you know that you are too high. But one more thing I actually need to go over now that I'm thinking about it. Let me get in position. Alright. So, as the bomb starts to change colors here, see how it's red? You're going to see a different visual cue. So now you see like this little gray box here. I don't know if you can see it, but... Alright, now when it's green, it's a shadow. Red, it's a shadow. Now when it's like orange, you see that. So you're still in the right position, but you need to learn all the bomb colors to know that you're still in the right position. You still want 3 rows of shadow here to know you're in the right position. And like I said, you can make up your own visual cues. You know, if you feel comfortable using something else. Every runner, I think, uses something different. I don't really know. I know, like, some runners use link shadow in reference to positions with the tiles. I just don't do that. I never got used to it. Everybody's different. So, the optimal way to do this, grab 2 bombs, stop. I usually press right to kind of stop. So I already know I'm 1 pixel too high. So then I use that pause buffer, or the sword buffer, to get in position really fast. It's less time with pause buffering and trying to adjust yourself. See, I'm in the right position now. 1 too high. And I moved too much down. That's another risk of pause buffering. Sometimes I'm too. Oops. Sometimes pause buffering or sword buffering will not position you correctly if you press it too hard or press the direction too long or whatever. I mean, it's a Super Nintendo. I don't know what controller you're using, so this might not be viable with whatever D-pad you're using if you're using emulator. Let's see, that was too long. Whoops. I wouldn't recommend grabbing 2 bombs here, it's not important. That's just what I do now. To save a half second later in Thieves to not grab the bomb there. That's why I grabbed that bomb there, it's a little bit faster. Yeah, see. Use sword buffering cautiously. Kind of get used to it. You gotta practice it quite a bit. Another visual cue real quick that might be useful to some is, okay, so I'm in the right position for sure. I could tell by the way the T is. You can use the tiles here between the inventory screen as well as up here. They're about the same, it looks like. It looks like a face to me, like a sad face, like a weird sad face. And like 2 double T's here. You can use that to also reference to see if you're in the right position. Like if your hat, like if Link's hat is like in the animation where it's flapping and you're not sure if you're in the right position, you can pause and just while you're switching your items, you can kind of check to see if you're in the right position there too. Oh, whoops. Wow. Yeah, my D-pad's not cooperating today. And then this is another, I guess, reference you can use. Well, you're using the shadow on the pause, so you really don't need to worry about that. But that's the position you want to be in when you're standing next to the bomb, is right here. So use whatever visual cue you want to use. But this is just what works for me. Everybody's different. So, alright, I didn't want to make this long, but I just kind of wanted to go over some detailed stuff this time. And I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, you can PM me. I'm always on IRC pretty much, or you can really ask anybody in hashtag ALTTP. And I'm sure they'll be happy to help you with this.